Welcome to the All Around Joe podcast. We optimize your human performance from my personal experience as an athlete, coach, and all-around self-improvement junkie. On this edition of the All Around Joe podcast, I am going to be doing part 2 of my weight loss series here, and it's titled 6 Simple Steps to Weight Loss. Part 2. If you didn't listen to part 1, which was at allaroundjoe.com/148, and you are looking to get started in your weight loss journey, I would recommend that you start there. The reason for that is I made 3 very simple steps that you could get going on for your first month or so just to get started, okay? A lot of times people get overwhelmed with what they're trying to do when they haven't even put the routine of like working out, eating right in place. So I want to make it simple. A lot of times people come up to me and they're like, hey, I'd like to get myself in shape, but I've got to do, and then they list off like 10 to 20 different things to me, right? Like I've got to, get my diet perfect. I've got to eat this amount of protein. I've got to go to the butcher and get this kind of protein. I've got to go to the store and get these vegetables, or I've got to make a vegetable garden first, and then I've got to eat the vegetables next year out of the vegetable garden. I mean, it becomes really complicated, and it does not have to be complicated. All right. I recently did a podcast for my real estate business with my business partner over there, and we were talking about how it really doesn't matter so much about what you're doing, but that you commit to doing it. All right. When I set out on a journey or I have a goal, creating a business, getting in shape, whatever, I set the goal and then I don't stop working at it until I've achieved it, and then I reset the goal. So there's never a point where I think, oh, I haven't achieved this goal in the first month or 3 months or year. It just means that I have to try a different approach. So set these goals that you really want to achieve and then go down that path until you actually get to the goal. And people like me are here to help you out with these fitness goals. We can give you the different things to try. So this is going to be the 4th, 5th, and 6th step in the simple steps to weight loss. But before I get right into that, I actually wanted to talk about a company that I've recently started working with, and it is Perfect Keto. You can see right here if you're watching the video. If you are listening to this on iTunes or whatnot, it's perfectketo.com, and I'm taking the keto collagen and I'm actually putting it in my coffee here because it is fantastic for your coffee. And the ketones can put you into ketosis or ketosis state right away. And what that is good for is actually helping your body to have more energy, burn more fat, and it actually makes you think better as well. So without getting too deep into what's going on there, you can give them a shot. I'm actually going to be interviewing Alex Cunningham from Perfect Keto on my next podcast. So if you're listening to this right when it comes out, wait about a week and you'll get to that. But you can try these ketones along with me and get yourself a discount by going to perfectketo.com/allaroundjoe, and I believe you get a 15% off discount. So it's one of those supplements that I have really liked over the past year. I've gone on and off it a few times, and I really like the Perfect Keto collagen in my coffee, like I said, as well as their pre-workout is pretty sweet as a pre-workout or energy type of product. So check that out, perfectketo.com/allaroundjoe. All right, the other partner that I wanted to mention on this podcast was Perfect Amino. See a trend here? Perfect Keto, Perfect Amino. So Perfect Aminos are pills that I take pretty much all throughout the day, okay? About 2 years ago now, I've taken them and replaced my post-workout protein powder with these Perfect Aminos because they help me recover so much faster. Basically, they're the 8 essential amino acids, the building blocks of protein. If you take them on an empty stomach, they absorb much better into your body than trying to take a full protein source down. And I noticed that I am probably about half as sore when I'm taking them as prescribed. I laugh because I'm living in this van right now. As you can see all around me, I'm in a van, and West Yellowstone, actually. Side note. But when I take the Perfect Ketos Perfect Aminos as I'm supposed to, I am about 50% less sore than I would be otherwise. And pretty much everybody else that's tried them and taken them as prescribed that I know of that are my friends that are hard trained athletes have noticed the same thing and keep on taking them. So you can go to allaroundjoe.com/perfectamino to get yourself a discount on those. That's allaroundjoe.com/perfect amino. And the last company I just want to talk about, because it's the most important thing that I've done in about the last 10 years, and I try and get everybody to do it, is Inside Tracker. About a few years ago now, I forget the amount of time, but I had put myself into a really, really bad state as far as overtraining goes, and I had been digging myself out, and I thought I was doing great. I thought I had full energy. I was, had made it to CrossFit Regionals as on a team, and was getting myself back into training really, really hard, feeling good about it. And I thought I was doing everything right. And then I went and I did the Inside Tracker testing. And what I found was that I was essentially poisoning myself by eating so much beef. All right. My body happens to store iron really, really easily. And I was eating beef almost every single day. What was happening is it was making me feel lethargic, and it was keeping me holding on to too much body fat, which is probably going to get most of your attention right now. So what happened is I went and I did the Inside Tracker blood testing. It takes about 15 minutes. There's a lab that will, or a testing facility that will be near you, and then you'll get results in about 3 days. And they will give you the actual foods that you should eat and shouldn't eat, as well as lifestyle choices and supplements that you should and shouldn't be doing. We cannot figure these things out, people, by thinking, oh, I have ground beef and it makes me feel good. We can't do it. I've tried. I've taken the notes. I've done the spreadsheets. So we have to actually take a look at what's going on inside of us. And unfortunately, our general practitioner doctors don't do that. So go to InsideTracker.com, use the code AllAroundJoe, or go to allaroundjoe.com/InsideTracker. Either way, whatever you feel necessary or would like to do, and you can get yourself a discount. I recommend the Ultimate Package. It's what I do every 3 to 6 months, and it helps me stay tip-top. And if you're feeling not so good, I would recommend that you get on this right away, or if you feel like there's something not right, do this, change your diet, change your routine, change your supplementation, and I pretty much guarantee that you're going to see a result. All right, so that's InsideTracker.com. Use the code AllAroundJoe, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, so let's get right into this weight loss series that we have here. So the 4th, 5th, and 6th steps to simple weight loss. The first 3 steps, if you didn't check out the first podcast, which I recommend that you do over at allaroundjoe.com/148, check that out. The first 3 steps were eating from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., so intermittent fasting essentially. That's all you're going to focus on for your diet. Eating between 12 and 8 p.m. is an 8-hour window. You could move it around if you want to. That's completely fine. You're just looking at doing it consistently every single day. So I wouldn't do start at eating at 8 a.m. one day and then starting at 10 the next day. Do it by the time that you had your last meal, all right? So if you had your last meal at, like we said, 8 p.m., then you're going to start at around 12, okay? If your last meal was around 10 p.m., then you're going to start at 2 the next day. So that's what you're going to be doing. It's super simple. That's it. I'm not going to talk about in that first part, we're not going to be talking about anything that has to do with what you should be eating. All right, then you do number 2, lift weights 3 times a week, and listen to the podcast for the details. And number 3, do cardio 3 times a week. And again, listen to the podcast for those details. So the 4th, 5th, and 6th steps are going to consist of, number 1, start tracking your protein, fat, and carbohydrates. And how you're going to do this is, if you've been listening to this podcast at all, you've heard me talk about this like 12,000 times. Get the app MyFitnessPal. Okay, you can always also do it on your computer. But you're going to go there and you're going to start tracking what you're consuming. Okay, once you're in MyFitnessPal, I want you to go into the goals function. So you have to click the 3 little dots, and you click on goals, and you find macro goals in there. And let me know if you have any trouble finding it. But what you're going to do is you're going to set up your goals to be 40% carbohydrates, 30% protein, 30% fat. All right. So you start off last podcast and last month or 3 months, however long you're going to get started and getting ready to add on these steps, and you're going to add this in. Then what you're going to do is you're going to set your protein, and this is how you figure out what your calories should be. You're going to set your protein at 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. So once you do that, it will give you MyFitnessPal will set up the equation for you. It'll be super easy. It will tell you, all right, so my protein is going to be at X number, let's call it 100, and then it will fall and fill out the rest of the carbohydrates and fats for you. So if your ideal goal body weight is going to be 150, that's how much protein you'd eat. You set that in the equation and then set your macros or macronutrients, if for macros is short for macronutrients, at 40, 30, 30, 40% carbohydrates, 40%, 30% fat, 30% protein. Okay, check. That's step number 4. Number 5 is to eat paleo-esque foods. And I say paleo-esque because it's just a good rule of thumb. You can go and search, hey, is this paleo or not paleo? And there are a few things that I'm going to list that are not necessarily in the paleo realm, but they're totally fine, okay? It's just easy to say, all right, I kind of eat paleo. I tell people I eat paleo about 80, 90% of the time, which is true. But there are foods that are not bad for you that are not considered paleo, and that's totally fine to eat those, all right? So number 2 is you're going to eat paleo-esque foods. And what that means is basically foods that aren't in boxes or packages, things that are coming, from the earth essentially, that we haven't tampered with. You go walk around the outside of the store, go grab your grass-fed meats, all right? I think it's important to do grass-fed free range if you can afford it. If you can't, you can't. But I try and do that, especially these days if you can shop at Trader Joe's, you can usually get those types of foods pretty darn cheap. It's worth it. So you get the grass-fed free range types of meats, all right? You're going to eat a lot of vegetables. Vegetables are great. They make you feel full. Find some vegetables that you really like. I do the lean, mean, green shake every morning, or actually it becomes the afternoon because I do the intermittent fasting, so around 12 or 1 p.m. And I eat a lot of vegetables, okay? So get those carbohydrates from vegetables. Vegetables are great for you. Then you're looking at like sweet potatoes, but I just want to make a note here. Sweet potato fries are great, but they're kind of a stretch, okay? Sweet potato chips are great, but they're kind of a stretch. So I would try and stay away from those until you really get into the routine and you know how they affect your body, and rather than trying to rely on those types of things, okay? So you're going to eat the sweet potatoes. You're going to eat a lot of leafy green vegetables, all kinds of vegetables, squash, eggplant, all that stuff. Eat it up. That's great. And just track it, okay? Then something that I put on the list that I eat a lot of that is not necessarily paleo, or it depends on the camp that you're in, is brown rice, all right? I'll eat brown rice. Even if I'm training hard, I'll eat white rice, okay? So you're going to have these things that still, pretty close to coming from the ground, that type of thing. And grass-fed butter, coconut oil, those are the things. I'm not going to obviously go into all of the things, but I'm going to have a pretty extensive list of things that I eat personally and recommend that you eat as well at allaroundjoe.com/149. So it's the show notes for this particular show. So if you just head over to allaroundjoe.com/149, you can get all of that list of the things that I eat regularly. Or you can just, if you want to go rogue a little bit, just search for paleo foods and see what the list comes up with. But like I said, there are some things that hardcore paleo people don't eat that I think that's totally fine. So it just depends on the food, and I don't know why they consider some things to be paleo and some things that are not paleo. All right, so you can go over to my site and get that list if you want to, or you can do the search on your own. But again, the things that I eat regularly are sweet potatoes, rices, a lot of vegetables, and eggs, proteins, grass-fed butter, coconut oil. A lot of my diet, aside from like spices to put together for certain things that we make in our Instant Pot, which is fantastic, I recommend everybody get an Instant Pot, come from that list of foods. Pretty darn easy. Oh, I also do cheese. I should mention that. It doesn't affect me poorly in either way, so I do quite a bit of cheese. If it does affect you, then I'd recommend not eating it, meaning like if it gives you digestive problems, that type of thing. I can't do milk at all. Some people could do milk. I can't do milk, but I could do cheese, so it's really interesting. If I do a whole bunch of cheese, it's not so good, but I know that on a small scale, it's totally fine. So that's a non-paleo thing that I think is totally fine. Lastly, or the 6th step here, is going to be do CrossFit. So in the last step, I said it gave it as an option, but I really gave you more of a list of a workout that I wanted you to do. All right, I gave you the work to do in the last one. Now I want you to, after you've graduated and gotten to your routine, do CrossFit, okay? Some CrossFit programs that I would like you to follow or look into following are CrossFit.com. Just great, easy program. Well, not easy, but great, straightforward program for you to follow. Obviously, it's CrossFit. You can look at the CrossFitInvictus.com is a great program. You can go and they have several different things depending on the level that you're at and your goals. The MisfitAthletics.com has also several different things that you could get yourself into. The CompTrain.co or CO has some great programs, as well as BruteStrengthTraining.com. So if you're having trouble figuring out which one you should go to, or if you've just gotten through the first month or 3 months of the last podcast that I recommended and doing those essential movements, I would recommend just starting. Ideally, you go to a CrossFit gym, okay, and you get that great training that those coaches can provide. And remember, not all CrossFit gyms are created equal. You can find my podcast on that as well, how to choose a CrossFit gym. But what you're going to do is essentially go to a CrossFit gym, do their programming, or if you're doing a home gym or at a global gym, go to CrossFit.com. That will get you started. And if you want to do some more advanced things or you're not really satisfied with the CrossFit.com, look into the other programs that I mentioned. So like I said, we're keeping it super easy. I think that was only about 10 minutes of me talking about this. And I usually get into the 20, 30 minute mark when I'm talking about this, but I want to keep it so easy for you. You start off with the allaroundyour.com/148, which is the first 3 steps. Then you go to allaroundyour.com/149, which is this podcast, and you do the 4th, 5th, and 6th steps, okay? And we'll just keep on building on, making it better for you, getting you going. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments, allaroundyour.com/149. That's allaroundyour.com/149. And make sure that if you want to get yourself a boost, check out Inside Tracker, Perfect Amino, or Perfect Keto. All Around Joe is my discount code for all of those that I get to share with you. And remember, I love reviews on iTunes. Every 5-star review that I get helps me to get this podcast out to more people, and it is my goal to get this out to millions of people. So I need your help to do that. Head over to allaroundyour.com/iTunes and give me a review. Give me a review, please. I would love it, and I would love to help you out. So if you need anything, just let me know. The All Around Joe podcast, where we optimize your human performance from my personal experience as an athlete, coach, and all-around self-improvement junkie. I will see you on the next podcast.